there's a sense that, it's not that important. I love my family. I take care of them. I got a few folks down at the church that we've been friends ever since school days, and I don't even know those other people. If we don't know the other people, we may be lagging behind in diligence. To love each other and to meet and to know and to care for each other, it is a part of that loving each other as Christ loved us. You say, what, that I'm supposed to know all these people? Well, does Jesus know all these people? Yeah. Does he love all these people? Yes. If I'm supposed to love like Jesus does, then I should make it a goal to be aware of what's going on in the lives of the people around me, to know who they are and what their concerns are, and to lift them up in crucial times of prayer. And so, as I do this, fervent in spirit, fired up, serving the Lord, as I'm doing this with people, I'm actually accomplishing the service of God. I'm serving the Lord by loving people. See, maybe if I love God, I'll get around to serving people. Well, maybe if our priorities are God's and we say, God, I love you so much, I'm going to serve these people. Now I'm loving God in the practical outgrowth of my service. And notice that we're called to do this even when it's dangerous. To persevere in tribulation. Devoted to prayer. How many of you have been to see War Room? You made it to see War Room? All right. Awesome, right? Fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, you better go. It won't be at Tinseltown forever. I'm not promoting Tinseltown. That's just where it is. But you need to go see it. It is definitely a way to understand devoted to prayer. And then also contributing to the needs of the saints. Practicing hospitality. So as we said earlier, one of the ways we show this love is in how we are at work in the lives of each other as brothers and sisters in Christ. Now in Luke 6:27, we get to that part where we're told to love our enemies and to do good to those who hate you, to bless those who curse you, to pray for those who mistreat you. And if I were to ask you today, do you think there are any Christians in ISIS territory who pray for those terrorists for God to save them? I would. If they were after me, I would pray for God to save them, right? It makes sense to be a blessing to those folks, for them to come to faith in Christ, to be born again, to be forgiven for their sins, and to have a new heart. It's just smart to pray for our enemies to come to know Christ, and for that to happen because God will change their heart, and suddenly someone who might be an enemy might become someone who's very dear and important in our lives. Bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. Whoever hits you on the cheek, offer him the other also. Whoever takes away your coat, do not withhold your shirt from him either. The idea is when we represent Christ in religious persecution, the goal is not to destroy the enemy, but to convert them, to see them come to faith in Christ. Now, this is not a teaching, as I understand it, about how you treat a burglar who just broke into your house and is trying to kill you and take everything you have. This is the time when you as a person are dealing with someone who has come after you because of your faith in Christ. And you're going to respond to them in such a way to show the love of God. It goes on in verse 30. It says, give to everyone who asks. Whoever takes away what is yours, do not demand it back. You see, we don't really like these ideas. But the way we treat people, treat others the same way you want them to treat you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that for you? Even sinners love those who love you. There is a point in which we as Christians make sacrificial actions that may not seem fair, but we do it to honor Christ. Do you think God's able to square things up later? To reward our faithfulness to be obedient, to love in all kinds of situations, even though it doesn't look like it's fair right now for us to respond in this way? If the goal is to show the love of Christ, then we show it when it is undeserved and not just when it is deserved, because the love of Christ was shown to me when it was undeserved. And the love of Christ is being shown to me today, even though it is still undeserved. It is by His grace that He loves us, by His grace that He has saved us. Some would say, does love have anything to do with the law? And as you look at this idea of fulfilling the law, Romans 13:8 tells us this: owe nothing to anyone except to love them. For he who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the law. How important is love? How important is that willingness to go out of our way to care about people? Galatians 5:13 talks about the fact that we call for freedom. As Christians, we've been set free, but the goal is not to use our freedom to sin. The goal is to, by love, serve one another. And so as we do that service, look at verse 15. If we bite and devour one another, take care that you are not consumed by one another. But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not carry out the desire of the flesh. So if I have been set free from sin, then it's not going to be a part of my nature as I love people the way God does, to literally, as you think about this text, he's visually trying to get the idea. I can see my two dogs. My two dogs in the backyard. Here's Bobby and Buddy. And Bobby will start something. She is still a puppy. And she'll start chewing on Buddy, and she gets a little tough. She's working him over. And in a second, there's a and it's over. Because she knows she went too far. If we are dividing and devouring each other within the church, that's not an example of love. As we deal with the issues that cause us to be separated, sometimes we have to make sure that those issues are of a nature that call for that kind of response. Ephesians 4. When you talk about that kind of love, it's a part of walking your daily life in a manner worthy of the calling by which we've been called to Jesus, to serve. We do that with humbleness. We do that not pridefully. We do that with gentleness. We do that with patience. We show tolerance for one another, because there are times that you have to tolerate where I am because I'm in the wrong place, and love me out of that